You're listening to the world-famous White Roof Radio, Woofcast number 638, recorded March 7th, 2018, brought to you by CravenSpeed.com, MotoringStripes.com, and OutMotoring.com. Mini performance, speed, and style. It's OutMotoring.com. Hey everybody, it's DB in Arizona with a brand new episode of the world-famous White Roof Radio. Joining me this week, my good pal Todd Pearson. Todd, say hello.
That's it. We're going old school this week. Me, DB, and a gin and tonic make 3.
We almost had Gabe, but he's drunk someplace in a bar. So with bad cell phone service, we didn't even get him for Black Roof Radio. We're really disappointed. Brian's out in Oregon, and Chad's, well, I think Chad's actually at work because he's been busy lately. So you just get Todd and I. But at least you're getting a show because we haven't done a show in a month. That's entirely on me. All apologies. Please be sure to write us feedback at White Roof Radio and get you a full refund. Using Todd's jokes here, ladies and gentlemen.
That's the great thing about Patreon, though, is you think about that as a Patreon subscriber, you're not paying for it.
But also I'm not getting money.
Yeah, that's the downside.
Yeah. So
DB's not getting paid, but you're not paying for anything. So.
Exactly. If you're a Patreon subscriber, then that's totally okay. New Black Roof Radio up, by the way, if you guys missed it. If you're also on the Patreon page, you should have already got an email for your custom RSS feed. Yes, they do that for us now, which is really rad. If you didn't get that, shoot over an email to us, feedback at whiteroofradio.com, and get you taken care of. If you're wondering what this Patreon thing is, you go over to patreon.com/whiteroofradio, and there you can kick in like $1 a show. And for that, you get Black Roof Radio and my undying gratification and the never-ending goal of making this my full-time job. I understand that not making a show for a month makes it very difficult to justify that. But I've made some changes on my end. I'll be getting back on track. New White Roof Radio is up. You guys listening to it. New Ride Bikes Radio will be up probably Monday, and then you guys can actually watch for next week for the Fireball Tim and I bringing back the Hollywood Car Show.
Well, and it's been crazy too because our buddy Brian now is no longer at Mini. He's got a new job, and it's causing him to travel a little bit too. So we don't have Brian tonight either. So.
Right. So I'm going to be roping in other people also for Ride Bikes Radio, for those who wonder, because Brian does the bike show with me. So we're going to have rotating guest hosts on Ride Bikes Radio. Once again, another show with Brian, of course. Speaking of not working for Mini, you know who is working for Mini now? SoCal people, party people, our good man, Colin Benham. He's back at MINI of Ontario. He was working over at the Mini side. Now he's like director of awesome and rad at MINI of Ontario. So if you want, go over to MINI of Ontario, say hi to Colin because he's back working over there. Do it. Go now. Tell him DB and Todd say hi.
Which he's just switching buildings like one to the left.
He's literally switching buildings one to the left, yeah. Because before he switched buildings one to the right, now he switched back one to the left, yeah. So, but he's back. Anyway,
but he gets to be with the fun people now, not the uptight people, as DB likes to say, in square-toed shoes and Bluetooth headsets. Which that's a joke from 10 years ago.
Yeah, that joke doesn't really play anymore, brother.
No, it doesn't.
That's kind of
the man bun wearing. No, that doesn't.
Yeah, that doesn't work with the BMW. Anyway, our man Colin's back over at MINI of Ontario. You can probably imagine that there's going to be some fun things happening between White Roof Radio and MINI Ontario again because Colin's hungry and Colin needs big numbers. So we're going to see what we can do to help him out with that. But go check him out, Colin Benham. Remember MINI of Ontario? Go now. Anyway, that was an unpaid piece because I was really excited that Colin was back.
He'll owe us.
Yeah. Colin, that's not a problem. Next time we're in California, and if we're going to talk about the thermal thing, maybe we'll have to make a stop in Ontario on the way.
I could absolutely do that.
See, that's what I'm saying. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. We've got, so we're going to talk about Autocross. We've got oddly enough, we got a couple stories actually from Jalopnik. Okay, sure. We don't have Gabe, so we're going to hold off on all the mini news, and I don't really want to talk about sales for our first show back after a month, so we're going to skip that. And just whatever Todd and I decide we want to talk about, that is what we're talking about tonight. So, Go us. Before we get to any of that, you know what I like to do? Let's remind you guys about one of those fine sponsors here underneath the white roof. Our friends over at outmotoring.com. The online Mini Cooper parts desk. You're going to go over there. You guys know this already. Just go sign up for the newsletter. Because when you sign up for the newsletter, you get the 5% discount code, right? Super awesome. We love that. And that's good for the entire month. You get a new one every month, and you get a new email once a week, I think it is now. So not too terrible at all. But you go to Mini of Ontario, Out Motoring. Because that is where you're going to get all your driver gear, your shirts, your hats, your t-shirts, your shoes, your watches, all of your stuff, so that you look snazzy for the upcoming event season. Remember, we got Mini Southwest Mini Fest. We got Mini Takes the States. Dragons coming up. What else? There was another one in there. There's another one in there. There's all kinds of mini events. You guys got to make sure you're looking sharp for that. So outmotoring.com is going to get you taken care of for all of that. Plus anything that you need. If you're especially you DIY guys, any of the small parts, the fiddly bits and clips that you need to put body panels back on, Outmotoring's got it. All the small parts, all the big parts to conduct all of your own repairs. You can get all those at outmotoring.com for every Mini available, all the R series minis and even all the F series minis as well. He's got parts for those starting to trickle in. Go over there and check it all out. That would be super duper awesome. And I already mentioned signing up for the newsletter, right? Right. Good. That's our friends over at Outmotoring. Outmotoring.com. Mini performance, speed, and, watches. That's outmotoring.com. This is where the news music goes. All right, where do we want to start? Should we start? Let's start with the bad news. Let's start with the borrowing thing that you brought to me. This is a story over at Jalopnik that Todd found. There'll be a link to it in the show notes. And it's people are borrowing record amounts of money to buy cars.
Yeah, and this is something that I mentioned a few shows ago.
I remember you saying something about this.
I mentioned it to Gabe that things are creeping up in the last year. Average car loans, and this isn't just many, average everything car loans have now exceeded like 60 months. Okay. Yep. And part of the story was that, hey, as Americans, we're in trouble. We owe more than $1 trillion in car loan debt right now, and the average car loan, like, more than 20% in the last year, I believe, car loans were 72-month loans, which is not horrible. I can see that because
on a $50,000 car.
Well, interest rate, and it's a couple of things too. And I just figured out it's Jalopnik that's causing my spinning beach ball. By the way, way to go, guys. A couple of things are causing that too. Is the price of cars and the fact that interest rates are so low. When you can get like 1.9% or even 0.9% for 72 months, it's free money. You might as well. Right. Okay. But here's the downside in that: when you look at how much a car depreciates over that time, if you plan on getting rid of the car in 2, 3, even 4 years, chances are you're going to still be upside down on what you owe on the thing, right? Because of depreciation after that 3 or 4 years. And so what happens is, maybe by your choice or not even your choice, somebody hits your car and totals it and you don't get enough to pay it off. You end up rolling in, let's say, $3,000 into your new car loan. Right. And we had that happen. And what ends up happening
I did that on Hank. I did that exact same. It wasn't an accident, but because I got a better deal on the loan, I rolled $7,000 into the loan on the Roadster.
Right. And right now, the average amount that people roll into new loans, the average amount rolled over is around $5,000. That's average. That is average, which means some people are rolling in DB, like you said. Sometimes it's required. It's like, I got $7,000, so you have to roll it in there. Or as much as $10,000. So let's say you roll in $10,000 into a new car loan, and you go, not even 72. Some people are going like 84 months. Okay, like 7 years on a loan. What ends up happening is you roll in a chunk of change, and you get an 84-month loan. You end up in the end having to pay $60,000 for a $29,000 Mini Cooper. I'm not kidding you. Yeah. I'm absolutely not kidding you. And this is not a unique problem to Mini. It's it's cars in general. And go read this story. It's very short over at Jalopnik.
Yeah, it's a very short story. I'm gonna link it up in the show notes.
Yeah, they kind of put the numbers together through this, and like I said over in a comment over at Motoring File this past week, I try not to comment unless it gets up my ire, and it did. And interest rates are projected to go up 2 or 3 times this year. Okay, which is really going to hurt the car industry because people are just, it's to the point where it's going to be too expensive. One, cars have gotten very expensive. They said another point, high point in the Jalopnik article was that the average price of cars now has exceeded $27,000.
Yep.
That's average.
Cars are just too expensive.
Yeah, it's really expensive. And to be able to afford that, and especially in the U.S., people's desire for trucks and large SUVs, those are even more expensive. Mm-hmm. Those are $30,000+. I mean, you're in, and most people are probably paying $40,000 to $50,000 for that. So, and the average car loan, the average amount of money people borrow is just over $27,000.
Right.
Okay. So without any interest at all, you divide that into, let's say, 72 months. You're looking at $375 a month just for $27,000. That's not a bad car payment. That's not at all.
You're under $500 a month, so that's pretty good.
That's pretty good because I see a lot of people buying new cars, and they're like, what's your car payment? It's between $500 and $600 a month.
Oof.
I see people paying that, and I'm like, dude, that is a lot of money to pay for a car. And then if anything happens, 2-3 years down the line, you're not going to get that back. You're going to be upside down and having to roll that into something else.
Yeah.
And you end up on this terrible treadmill. And I think there's a bubble that's going to burst. And I don't think it's necessarily this year, but it's over the next probably 1 to 3 years. Things are really going to start to hurt the new car industry.
And then everybody's going to go back to buying the small, cheap cars again.
Yeah, you're going to have to. I mean, there's going to be no choice.
Or hitting the used market.
And what that does is it drives the price of even used cars down, which even hurts the price of new cars even more. I mean, it's just this never-ending cycle of crap. Now it's time to pay the piper for all the bad habits we've had for so long. And especially if interest rates go up, because right now a lot of people are like, oh, sure, I'll do 84 months. It's 1.9% interest. It's like free money. It's true. Problem is, unless you keep the car for 6 years.
Right.
How many people do you know who've been driving a car for 6 years?
None. Me and like 1 out of 20, 30 people.
Very few. I mean, I drove 2 different Mini Coopers for 9 years. My 2003, I don't think I got rid of until 2009. So that was 6 years.
Yep.
Had it for 6 years. I drove 2 Minis that were basically paid for a year or more by the time I got. And my GP, it was paid for. I think between the 2 GPs, I drove them for 10 years. Yeah. So,
well, I know a lot of you guys out there in Warrior Radio listener land are still rocking your R50 or R53, but you have another car in the driveway. You might be driving the Mini, but your wife's driving the minivan or some other car. So, I mean.
And I had a discussion with my brother-in-law recently about new cars. I mean, he's got a couple of kids, going to college, and they're driving around older cars that are kind of falling apart and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, here's the problem. We've lived for so long without a car payment. It's really hard to think about, I'm going to pay $400 a month for a new car.
Right. It's such a struggle.
Even that. And I know a lot of people who are longtime Mini owners who are like, oh, I love my R53. I've had it forever. Or I love my Clubman. I've had it forever. And it's paid for. I haven't had a car payment for like 2 years.
Right.
And like once you get into that cycle, you have no interest in. You're going to maintain the car and do everything you can to stay in it and not have a car payment. Yeah,
because I was 7 years without a car payment. Yeah, is that right? So I was like 7 years without a car payment, and then I've had a car payment for like the last 3 years, and it's killing me. Just like what kind of fresh hell is this? Good grief.
Yep, and I mean,
unbelievable.
I'm in a different scenario. I mean, I make good money and I have a business, and Minis are my business. Mm-hmm. It's a deductible expense for me, so it's tough because I'm in a very unique, lucky. I mean, I call myself completely lucky. I get to play for a living, and I play with cars that I love, and I get to deduct them because it is my business. And not everybody's so fortunate for that. And I think this article really brings that out, and it's kind of scary to think about. Wow, you may love your car and everything, but dude, you're going to keep it for 6 years. You're going to have to, and that's hurting new car sales. So, and we'll talk about that in the coming weeks too. So,
oh yeah. One other from Jalopnik is a video that you need to go over and watch, and it's just a little argument: is the Mini good or bad? And go over there and don't read the comments.
No, read the comments. It's interesting because they'll infuriate you, and then some people who are Mini fans and Mini owners, chimed in with some comments also. But luckily Patrick George, who's the editor over at Jalopnik, and we've interviewed him on White Roof Radio here a couple of years ago.
He is senior editor-in-chief at Jalopnik, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. He's a fan of the Minis. He's had a couple. They had an F56 most recently. Mm-hmm. And, so watch the video. It's 5 minutes long. Not a big deal. The comments are interesting. They'll infuriate you, and you'll cheer at some of them. And I get it. It's like you either love a Mini or you hate it.
Yeah. Luckily we love it.
We do. And we should segue into DB. Like I said, I had some issues with not issues, but I got new brakes on my JCW.
Oh yeah.
Not by choice.
Really?
Not by choice. I can't remember what I'm trying to think. Oh, so I have to go back now 3 weeks in my brain and try to remember how this all came about. So I get in my car, and it's cold in the wintertime. So you get in the new Mini, and you turn the car on, and it chimes at you, and you're like, okay, it's cold. There's a little warning triangle. Okay, great. But for a couple of, I want to say a few days, I started getting the Mini with the lift on it come up in my car. I'm
really?
Like, I don't need oil service. I checked everything. I'm like, I cannot figure out why it's telling me I need service. So I dig deep into the menu, and when you dive down in there, it tells me, oh, it's been 2 years. It's time for a brake flush. I'm like, oh, perfect. Oh. The Mini's telling me, hey, it's time to get your brakes flushed out.
Sure.
Which is included in maintenance because I have a 2016, which is the last year Mini offered the 336 full maintenance.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, great. I'll schedule it, take it in, have them do the brake flush. Perfect. So I go in, and they're like, oh, it's close enough to do an oil service. We're going to do that too. Perfect. Great. Get my loaner car, enjoy myself, and they call me and say, hey, your car's ready, but we had to order brakes. And I'm like, what? I got 14,000 miles on
How
this
did you
car.
need brakes already?
14,000 miles. And they go, yeah, you need new brakes. And I go, what, just rear brakes? Was one dragging? No, all four, front and rear.
What?
So
really?
I'm like, what the F?
It's all those track days you're doing, dude.
Yeah, so I have never seen track time with my JCW. It has been 100% street time. And of those 14,000 miles, like 4,500 of them were highway miles on Mini Takes the States in 2016.
Right.
Okay. So there's not a lot of braking going on when you're doing 80 miles an hour across South Dakota.
Right.
Okay. So I start wondering what's going on. So the next
really
day,
weird.
Yeah, the next day I go in and I talk to the tech who worked on my car. I says, dude, are you just doing me a favor or what? And he goes, no. You're within tolerance. We can replace the brakes. And it's going to be free. It's included in my maintenance still. So I'm not concerned about that, but I'm just curious.
Right.
From a standpoint of what the hell is going on that the brakes need to be replaced at 14,000 miles.
I think it's those JCW brakes, dude. I think it's a softer compound. So it's a grippier compound, and they wear faster. And so you need brakes after 15,000 miles. So
I started asking around. I know people with the new JCW and F56 JCW. And I said, hey, have you got new brakes? Oh, yeah. I got new brakes at 12,000 miles. 12,000 miles? And somebody else, yeah, I got new brakes at 18,000 miles. I'm like, this is really interesting.
Yeah, time to put some yellow pads on that thing, dude.
Yeah, and I was like, I wonder if it's kind of, if something's going on with the JCW brakes, and of course Gabe has the same ones on the JCW Clubman.
Right.
They may be a little newer compound, and maybe different, I don't know, on his car. They may be even do different size brakes on his Clubman, because there's different offsets to those wheels and different
they're probably the same as your car, though.
I'm guessing it is. They wouldn't make something specific. So I'm just curious if people out there, if you have an F56 JCW, so 2015 or newer JCW, have you had your brakes replaced? Please let us know. Feedback@whiteroofradio.com.
There you go.
I'm curious if this is an epidemic problem. And I meant to have Gabe ask people, he was with so many people recently, if that was a deal. Because doesn't everybody think that's a little odd?
That's really odd.
Yeah,
well, you know what? If I go all the way back, if I dig through the archives to my R50 to Roxy there, I remember I needed to put brakes on her in less than 30,000 miles.
Yeah,
I was putting brakes on that car at like 25.
Yeah, my R53, my 2003, got new brakes under maintenance. They were free and included at about 37,000 miles.
Yeah, okay.
Not 37. I'm sorry. It was just under the 36.
No,
so it was like 30.
I was at 20.
35.
I was at 25. That's when I did my brake job. I think maybe it was 27. And that's when I upgraded all the brakes. I replaced all the rotors and all the pads. I put the grips when I switched to green stuffs. Yeah. And the rotors were done. And the pads were really close. Like I had maybe 4,000 miles left on the pad. Maybe. And that's probably stretching it.
I just got pads all the way around on this one. All my rotors were fine. They're a little more robust than they used to be, but I think you're going to get 2 sets of brake pads out of a set of rotors now on the new Minis, as opposed to when you used to replace them. It was like, nope, you do the whole thing.
Right.
You do pads and rotors all the way around when you do it. So
sounds like we might be due for yet another brake show when next time we get Mr. Chad Miller on from Detroit Tuned.
Yeah, I'm just curious what people's experiences are with the new JCW, and if other cars. I don't think other Minis are doing this. I haven't talked to anybody with an F56 who've had issues with early brake pad wear, but definitely they should last more than 15,000 miles.
Definitely.
Of street. And I love driving my car.
It's a Mini Cooper. It's not a Lamborghini with ceramic brakes.
No, that's the thing. I love driving my car fast and hard, but I don't. This is my 7th Mini Cooper, and I've never had this problem with brakes. I drive exactly like I always have.
Right.
And I had two GPs for crying out loud.
Right. I wonder if it's got to be a change in the compound with the F56 brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
it's time to put some EBC yellows on there, man, or some Hawks.
Yeah. Yeah. I would think so if I were going to have the car more than a year. But hey.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely though. If you have something to say about this, tap on your podcast app. And then I'm going to put a link there to take you right back to White Roof Radio so you can leave a note in the show notes, or you can email us feedback at whiteroofradio.com, which would be completely awesome because I would be curious as well. It's a problem I'm not having.
Well, that's good. And DB, we got the brake pads recently on our Roadster, our 2013 Roadster.
Yeah.
And we put pads on there, I want to say like 35,000 miles.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Which is reasonable. I don't think.
No, that's completely reasonable
for a car
for factory brakes at that. Yeah, so I'll do the same as I always do when I go to do brakes. I'll upgrade the brakes on my car, and I might not do EBC greens. I might do yellows, or I'll get Hawk pads. But I'm definitely not going to do factory pads.
I was happy with the Hawk pads I got from Detroit Tuned on my latest GP when they needed brakes.
Yeah, I would switch to the EBC greens, but with the extra speed that you get on the S, they have a tendency to fade just a skosh. So I'm going to go ahead and skip those this time around and go to something a little bit more robust.
Yeah, and I will say in my latest GP that I sold a couple of years ago, I had 70,000 miles on the car, and literally it's on its second set of brakes.
Yeah, but that was R53, right? That one?
Yeah. Yeah, well, they were JCW brakes.
They were still JCW brakes, which is the same brakes that ended up going on the R56. So
I'm thinking they may have making it.
We're gonna have another conversation about this, but I still say that the 2006 R50 R53 best Mini ever. I know the Fs, the 2016 F cars are good, but man, I would kill for 2006 R53 right now, bone stock.
Yeah, they're getting cheaper too. I've seen them. They're well below $10,000.
And there's a ton of them out there for cheap.
$6,000, $8,000.
With just not, some of them have like barely over 50,000 miles, right? And it's just like, yeah, sell it. Perfect. I like it. Anyway, we can talk about old Minis all day long, but I don't want to do that because I keep seeing R53s, and Richard Wazinski's been posting pictures of his R53 on Instagram, and it's making me crazy. So. And I saw an R53 driving to work the other day, and I saw a Paceman today. Wow. Weird. It's just weird that somebody actually bought one.
I think it was free with French toast at Denny's. Man.
It probably was.
I think they won it as a prize.
It probably was.
Hey, by the way, if you own a Paceman, please don't send me letters. Good God, don't send me letters.
I don't think any of our listeners actually own a Paceman because they only sold like 10 of them ever.
No, I think they do. I think we have some, and it's a. You know what? Here's the thing. I thought it was a great car. It was just impractical for a lot of people because the back seat was pretty much unusable.
If you're
over 5 feet tall. If you're over 5 feet tall, the back seat's unusable. Kids and dogs. Kids and dogs fit. And it's a good looking car. I don't think it was a bad looking car, but man, they struggled to sell those things.
Oh yeah, they did. Anyway, let's move on. Let's do one more news story here. I want to talk about autocrossing out in the desert. So Gabe put up a story, very interesting story, and he actually had a chance to go out to the track in Thermal recently on a press junket. But he put up a story about, I have a funny feeling that maybe it was sponsored. I don't know. Or he did it. Oh, no, this is because he was out there at Thermal Car Club. Because he was out there for the BMW press junket, and they let him take some spins on the Autocross course in minis. So he wrote it up. And then Todd gets an email days later, just days later, about
he's
this.
There he's already there when I get mine.
Yeah. So, and then Todd gets an email because he's a loyal Mini Cooper owner, much like many of us are. I didn't get the email though, because Todd has purchased at least three minis new from a dealer. They sent him a little note and said, "Hey, give us a call, and we want you to come out and enjoy some time in a JCW car on the Autocross course for free in Thermal."
The Autocross, the full Autocross and track day course that they offer at Thermal. Yeah. I got this as a customer. This has nothing to do with press, so didn't pull any strings for this. This was completely out of the blue as a thanks for being a loyal. I mean, I've paid with my own money out of my own pocket.
Yes,
for 5 new minis now,
right?
Since 2003, and so I want to say, 2 of those. Of the 7 minis we've owned in the household, 2 have been pre-owned. The second GP was pre-owned, and our current Roadster, 2013 Roadster, was pre-owned. But the other 5 cars were purchased brand new from Mini. So anyway, they send me a thank you. Hey, we want to bring you out to Thermal, California for the Autocross and track day, which I'm very excited about, and I'm sure by the time you listen to this, I will have made my reservations. This, but if you've also received this invite, please let us know. I have not seen anybody on social media anywhere who's gotten the same thing, so I don't know how wide this is. But in like I said, in the fine print, it had to be you had to purchase multiple brand new minis from a Mini dealer and be a current Mini owner. On top of that,
right? You
have to currently own a new Mini and have purchased multiple ones. So it's kind of a customer loyalty thing, and I think it's fantastic. This is a really great thing that Mini has done.
I agree.
Like I said, I don't think any strings were pulled. My name didn't come out any special. It was just because of that. So hey, let us know. I'm curious, like how wide this is, or how many people kind of are in it. I know a lot of people who have multiple minis, but I've not heard of anybody else who got this yet. So
there you go. Let us know.
Excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. We're gonna make a day trip out to Thermal and watch Todd tear it up on the Autocross course.
And hey, we'll probably drive up the street and see our buddy Colin at MINI of Ontario.
Yes, quite possibly. We will do that too. Nicely done.
Well, drinks at dinner with Colin in Ontario again.
No, that'll be a poof. As long as there isn't any pool involved. And better tequila this time. Good grief.
No tequila for DB.
No, I get tequila. That one's allowed. Okay. I get that one. But it's got to be good stuff. It's Patron or better. Otherwise, I just don't bother. It's like spring break and bad decisions. It's a law.
Yeah.
Give me some of that George Clooney tequila, the Casamigos. Oh, yes, please. Mm-hmm. A little bit of that in a rocks glass with a big old rock. That's all I need. I'm a happy guy. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let's move on. We have more things to talk about. Before we do, I'm going to tell you about our friends over at Craven Speed, cravenspeed.com. They just upgraded, moved, did some crazy stuff at the shop. They've been growing by leaps and bounds, and I tell you what, it's all because of the White Roof Radio listeners. If I take a guess, they sell a lot of stuff for other cars, but I'm pretty sure it's all the White Roof Radio people buying all the cool Mini antennas, or the dipstick for the Mini, or the Gemini, or shift knobs, or antenna cams. any of that stuff for you? Do you have any of that stuff from Craven Speed? You don't? Oh, really? Simple. Go over to cravenspeed.com, and I want you to go check all this stuff out. Of course, the stubby audio, the stubby antenna. If you have an R53, you want to get a little bit more oomph out of your car, you're going to get a pulley. You're going to get the Craven Speed pulley. Done. Really, if you have a car that has a dipstick, any of the R series cars, and you're tired of fighting with the dipstick when you check your oil, just get the Craven Speed dipstick. It's like, I don't know, $40. Just get it. And you're going to save yourself a ton of hassle. You can read it, first of all, and it goes in and out super duper simple. Really, really nice. And the shift knobs are top notch. I mean, and they do custom tops for you, so they look really, really cool. And don't forget, too, that Craven Speed does do things for other cars. Click on Browse by Make, and you'll see all of the makes and model, all the makes that they make stuff for, everything from Audis to Volvos. So go over there and check them all out. And then don't forget, they also have a rad return policy. It says right at the top of the page, it's a rad return policy. It just, so it must be rad. They restarted their blog. I'm going to link that up in the show notes for you guys so you can check it out so that you can go see what's going on in the land of Craven Speed. In fact, I'm going to paste this link in right here before I forget. All right. I want you to go over there, place an order with them. Don't forget, too, if you're over at Detroit Tuned, or you're down there with Way, or you're in California, you're talking to Jerry, and he's ordering, just go, hey, I want Craven Speed stuff. They'll put Craven Speed stuff on your car. They're going to call it Craven Speed. They're going to order it, and they'll put it on your car, too. Don't forget. Right? Right. But if you want to do it yourself, or you just want to get the parts and take them to your guy, great. Go over to cravenspeed.com. Make sure you leave a note in the comment section when you place your order. And you want to let them know that thanks for supporting White Roof Radio. We really appreciate when you guys do that. So do they. They, of course, are friends over at cravenspeed.com. All right, where were we? All right, Craven Speed, right. So moving on, I wanted to query you about upcoming automobile changes at Casa de Pearson. Yes. It's funny because it's winter time and my lady friend drives the Roadster majority of the time, right? Mm-hmm. And which it's a fine car in the winter. You guys are back to it's a 2 mini garage, correct? Yeah, absolutely. Got the JCW and the Roadster, right? And we drive the Roadster on the weekends all the time. And unless, for some reason we're going on a longer trip and we need a little more comfort or a little more space for some reason. Sure. We'll take the JCW. But the Roadster has gotten to the point where it's got the JCW exhaust on it, which is pretty loud. That's ridiculous. Gotta say, it's pretty loud. On the highway, it drones a bit. Uh-huh. And it's never quiet. With the top up, it doesn't make any difference. It's just as loud. It's always loud. And my lady friend's like, you know what? I think I'm kind of getting tired of this. I love the car, but it's exhausting to drive for long periods of time. And I'm like, I get that. I was that way with the GP after a while, as much as I love it. It's like, there's no such thing as a relaxing drive. Everything is just balls to the wall, like, oh, yeah, here you go. Right. It's adrenaline, which is fine most of the time, but sometimes you just want to go like, sometimes you just want to go for a drive. Dude, I just want to go to Target. I don't need any drama. I just want to go get some Q-tips, man. I need Q-tips and milk. No drama. That's it. Just go to Target. I don't need some jackass in a Honda Civic trying to race me from a stoplight. I just want to go to Target. Dude, I'm on an errand. Right. So anyway. But the Roadster's awesome. I love my Roadster still. I mean, I'm finding some inadequacies in having a Roadster, which we'll talk about another time. Yeah, the whole lack of a space. Anyway, and it's not so much an issue with that. Like we've never had an issue not being able to fit whatever we go to buy. Like sometimes we'll go to Costco or something like that, and we'll load the boot space up. We'll fill it full of stuff, no question. But we've never run out of space and gone, oh my gosh, we're gonna have to make another trip. That's not an issue. So it's not so much that, it's just that it's becoming exhausting. It's fun. And so we're thinking, okay, it's going to be time soon, maybe not this year, but within a year or so, to move to another vehicle. And I asked her, I'm like, well, what do you think about it? She goes, it's not going to be a Mini. Like instantly, that was the first thing out of her mouth. It's not going to be a Mini. And I'm like, really? So tell me why. And the first thing was, she's like, I just don't like the looks of it. She's like, I just can't get over, she's like, your car looks great, but you've done so much to it to make it look like that. It takes a lot of work. And she's like, I just don't think they're as cute as they used to be.
And she goes, I don't think they're worth it. And I'm like, ooh, okay. Because we have the same discussions that we have here on White Roof Radio around the house, around the dinner table and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's fascinating that she's been looking. She's like, ooh, you know what I found at CarMax? I'm like, what? She goes, they have 3 Evokes over there.
Oh, God, not with the Evoque again.
The Range Rover again. And I'm like, well, you got to drive one before you decide on that. And she's like, the thing is there's enough things out there. She's like, I just want comfort. I don't drive that much. And she actually said maybe an electric car would be the next thing, because she drives 6 miles commute to work back every day. And she works in a university, and there's plenty of plug-ins when she goes there. She could plug in and charge all day.
Yeah.
If she wanted to or needed to.
Yeah, that sounds like it'd be a good fit for her.
Yeah, and either a plug-in hybrid or an electric car. And I'm like, ooh, let's start thinking about that. But even for a few miles as we drive, we put 5,000-6,000 miles a year on each of our cars. So I can't justify Tesla kind of money, because I'm like, who wants to spend $100,000 on a car?
Yeah, but you got to keep an eye on the used market for those too. Don't forget.
Yeah, but I'm kind of like, there's a cost, value relationship there. Is, do you really want to spend that much money on a car that you only drive 6,000 miles a year? And to me, I'm like, well, hell yes. I ran into a guy this week who owns, I kid you not, 39 BMWs. He owns 39, and most of them vintage.
Wow.
Like some gorgeous vintage BMWs, and keeps them in tip-top shape. And I saw 2 of his E30 M3s, and it would just make Gabe just drool to no end. But I'm like, yeah, I'd love to be that guy, but I'm not.
Right.
I got to justify here, and while I love driving and I love cars, we'll always have at least one fun car.
Right.
But it's time, I think, to get something comfortable and practical.
Okay.
And I know I'm leaning myself towards, I'm going to try and talk her into an Audi A7 or an S7, if you will.
Okay. What about maybe a Jag?
Or I'm thinking about the F-Type Jag, of course. Which I know gets some support from our friend John McLaughlin in Philadelphia, because he has one. But I mean, come on. Even the S7, the Audi S7, it does 0 to 60 in like 4.6 seconds, dude. A sedan.
Yeah, that's what you need.
That's fast and comfort, and it's got the luxuries and.
So, and that's this week. Next week you'll be back on the Jag, and then you're going to rope back around. You're going to come right back around to the Range Rover again. So, and then at some point you're going to have the Audi A8 in there one more time. I just know you will, just the because R8, the R8. Yeah. I mean, you will. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're now start the clock at 12 months of Todd being ridiculous about cars, and he's just going to buy a Mini again anyway.
And here's the reason I don't feel like the Mini's in the cards for me next year.
Because you're waiting for the GP.
I'm waiting for the GP3, and I think it's going to be 2 years off. And so I'm going to have this off year of, maybe I can just drive a crap can for a year.
Oh, that could be fun.
Is that possible? Can I just find something?
Yeah, get a Kia, one of those Kia, the one I said wrong. Get a little Kia Rio, or maybe like a Hyundai, or like one of the big Kias, just to be ridiculous, right? Mm-hmm. Or like a Chevy Malibu. Dude, go domestic.
I don't know, because there's probably a lot of cheap crap can cars out there.
Probably a ton.
Well, that'll last 5,000 miles in a year.
Oh, dude, I got it. You ready?
Yeah.
A pickup truck.
See, that's what I'm thinking. I can just beat the shit out of it.
Yeah, dude, just get a Ford F-150. Just pick one up a couple years old, like a 2014 F-150.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem. I owned a pickup truck. I had a Ford Ranger for about 5-6 years.
Oh, I bet you're kicking yourself for selling that.
No. Here's the problem with owning a pickup truck. Is you may not think you have many friends, but when you have a pickup truck, you have more friends than you ever want. And every damn one of them is going to ask you to help them move.
Or to go to IKEA to pick something up, or to go to Home Depot to pick up a piece of appliance that they bought.
I swear, 50 out of 52 weekends a year, somebody's going to ask you to borrow your truck.
Yeah, that's what happens.
And, by the way, can you drive and help me?
Yeah, right? I had this thought because I've got the Roadster, and I need to get a couple things because I just recently moved. And these are a couple things that I'll need to get that I can't carry in a Mini Cooper Roadster. Just can't pull it off, right? Like a queen size bed frame, for example. Just can't, even just the rails. You just can't get that in the car. Maybe
sure,
if I'm really creative, put the top down, use the little pass through, might be able to finagle something. But like if I need a piece of furniture like a coffee table or a sofa, right? Now I couldn't carry these with the Mini with the hardtop anyway, but you could maybe kind of get it on the roof. But I'm just thinking, why doesn't Uber have this service? I don't want to pay $20 to U-Haul or Home Depot to rent a truck for a day. I just want to have a friend that I can call and say, hey dude, I need to borrow your truck. I just need you to drive while I go in and collect some things. It's like 4 miles away and then bring it back. Why doesn't Uber have that service?
You're going to get emails because it's not Uber, but there is a service, and I know it's here in Kansas City because the guy I know used to work at the BMW dealer has one now. He bought a truck, and it's a service like Uber, but it's basically the truck. You just rent the dude in his truck to haul stuff.
Yeah, that's what I want.
They do have that, and it's app based, and I can't tell you the name of it because I don't remember.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, I'll find it, and maybe if somebody in our listener land knows, send us a feedback at White Roof Radio and let us know. Yeah. What it is, because I think there is a service like that. It's like you just call and like, I need stuff hauled from here to here, and they're like, great, here's how much.
Wow.
We'll come do it.
Okay. I'll look into that.
I gotta say, I've purchased and hauled 8-foot 2x4s in the Roadster before.
Really?
Put the top down and put them down on the floor in the passenger seat and up the back. And
you did it like that.
Yeah. You just put the top down and you put it down and up and out the back, and it works out great. And granted, I didn't travel more than like 2-3 miles.
I'm looking at buying stuff from Craigslist or OfferUp or something. One of those things. Where you can just go get something for free, or she's seen it laying on the side of the road.
Yeah, just put the top down and lean the seat back a little bit, and you got plenty
that reminds me, because I also have to move a ladder. Not a very tall ladder; it's a 4 or 5 foot ladder I need to get. And I'm thinking, well, heck with that, I can just put it behind the seat with the top down.
Nope. Yep, just put the top down and put it in the passenger seat all the way down.
Just have it lean up. That'll be fine.
Because if you think about it, somebody who's 6 feet tall can fit in there, and they could put their legs out. So you could put something 8 or 9 feet long in there and all the way out the top and be fine.
Yeah, got it.
Even seatbelt around it, and you'll be fine. You can get really creative with the Roadster.
Well, there you go. I'll have to get more creative with the Roadster. Should be a lot of fun.
Exactly.
Anyway.
But hey, we'll see you in the next year, because we'll probably be replacing 2 different cars here at the Pearson household.
All right. Well, we'll see what Todd changes to next week. Stay tuned. WhiteRoofRadio.com.
I get to play with a BMW i8 tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, you're not going to want that car, though.
No, I can't get my fat ass in and out of that
car. I still can't get over the way it looks either. It's just like meh. It's just meh.
Yeah, it looks old now. I mean, that car's been out for 2-3 years. Yeah, and the BMW i8 is almost looking dated, and you're like, that looks old.
Right. When the Tesla still looks gorgeous. Yep. So, I get it. Anyway, I believe we're done for the week. Mostly. So. Perfect. Last one I want to tell you guys about is I want you to click over to motoringstripes.com, and I'm going to let Todd take over because he's got some really cool MTTS stuff to tell you about. World premiere stuff. Nobody else has heard about this yet.
Well, hey, not to mention with a couple of new products you're going to have to go over there to see, but we've got a couple of discount codes that you will be first to hear right here on White Roof Radio. Is that the first one is free shipping for orders over $50.
Nice.
And to do that, you need to enter the word free in the coupon code at checkout. And if you have $50 of merchandise, you're going to get free shipping. So that saves you, $6. And here's the other thing. If you use the code MTTS 2018, and you take the states, MTTS 2018, you'll get 5% off on every order, no matter how much the order is.
Wow.
So go check that out. That's just to, thanks for everybody. And hey, we're celebrating how many years at this? I've been in business 25 years.
But how long Motoring Stripes have been going now? For 6 years?
Motoring Stripes have been going for a while, but Motoring Badges has been going since 2006, 12 years.
Yeah, 12 years. Wow.
So we're adding some new products this week, and use those discount codes. Get yourself some free shipping. Pack up those.
Can you stack the coupon codes?
I believe you can. I haven't tried it myself yet, but
Okay.
You're welcome to try it. If it works, you get a double discount.
So go over to motoringstripes.com. That's where you're going to go to get set up for Mini Takes the States. Todd's got the, we're going to call it mostly official. Mostly kind of official. Sort of official.
Cooler ones.
The cooler official Mini Takes the States swag for your Mini. Grill badges, door magnets, the whole shooting match. Go over there, get it now. Don't be that guy waiting the last minute, posting in Facebook, hey, where'd you guys get your magnets? Just go to motoringstripes.com. Link it up, motoringstripes.com. Use the coupon code MTTS2018. You're going to save 5%. Use the coupon code of free when you spend more than $50, and you're going to get free shipping. Dope. That is so awesome. And don't forget, for those of you who have the sunroof and you live west of the Rockies, and you're just tired of squinting all the time, or you're tired of the sun creeping in behind your sunglasses, Todd's got a fix. White Roof Radio Sunroof Delete Kit. What you do is you go to motoringstripes.com, you find the contact form, and you ask Todd for a quote. Well, you don't even need to ask him. You tell him what year Mini you got, what color roof you want, and he'll send you back a bill for $100, and also send you the White Roof Radio Sunroof Delete Kit you can install yourself. It's really simple to do. Done and done. So it's the motoringstripes.com hack.
Yes.
Check it out. Motoringstripes.com, my friends, because, blank is boring.
Yes, it is.
But we're done. I appreciate everybody's patience, of course. And for those of you who are wondering why the site keeps crashing, I'm almost got it sorted out. So hopefully by the time you guys hear this, the new site will be up and running, and it's way less crash-y because it has less crap on it. So that's pretty delightful. And we are going to be back on track, and hopefully DB will have less echo, starting now. So welcome back to White Roof Radio version 5.0. Anyway, and next time around, we'll probably have, we're going to try to get Gabe on again because he's got a lot of stuff and we got to get him on before he drinks it all away. And then hopefully we'll get Chad as well, talk about brakes, get Brian back as well. It'll be a good time, just like you guys like. Anyway, but for this week, we're done. So this is the part of the show where I do like to make that funny clicking sound, and then I say, questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead, click back over to whiteroofradio.com. There you can leave us a note in the show notes. You can also email us, feedback@whiteroofradio.com. Until next time, gang, this is DB. I'm done.
Cheers.